Of the grotty state of their company-owned Hindley Street restaurant, and now claims that its biggest outlet in the state is trashing their neighbourhood. As Frank Pangello reports, it's all given the Golden Arches a supersized public relations headache.
And cleanliness, yeah, the store has a large problem with cleanliness. As far as I'm concerned, if the store's unclean, you'd assume the food is unclean.
It's not the sort of thing fast food giant McDonald's wants to hear or you to see.
I believe that McDonald's generally serves a relatively good meal, but if I was walking past as an average person, I'd be reluctant to eat at a place like that.
Nor is this.
More McWaste, more McRubbish, and it's making me McCrazy.
A supersized mess created every week outside Maccas' biggest store in South Australia.
It's just worse every week. I cleaned this area 2 weeks ago, and if you have a look at the state it's in now, it's just appalling. This is killing our wildlife. It's a real hazard to us also.
McDonald's is in overdrive to clean up its act after this video of the piles of rubbish left inside its Hindley Street Adelaide store caused a worldwide meltdown when it was posted on YouTube.
I had raised my problems with management, but I mean, I was just sort of told it's the way it is. Welcome to Hindley Street, I think was the phrase that was given to me the most. I was shocked by it. I mean, it's a company-owned store. Head office for South Australia is directly upstairs.
22-year-old Michael Purse has worked in various roles in McDonald's stores in Queensland for 8 years. He moved to Adelaide in January and was a shift manager at the troubled store until quitting in disgust 4 weeks ago.
Most stores maintain a AAA rating, which is for quality, service and cleanliness, so an A for each of those. At Hindley Street, the store had an F for cleanliness on the company's own scale.
An F for cleanliness?
Yeah, it basically failed. If it was a franchise-owned store, they'd consider shutting that store or at least refusing the owner any additional McDonald's licences.
Michael took photographs of some of the problems he complained about.
Basically see the stock area covered in rubbish, cups from drinks, stock kept in an unsafe environment where it could possibly injure staff, a rubbish bin next to an ice machine. In the wash-up area, you can see basically food stuff stuck to supposedly clean washing. You can see a ramp that leads into the stock area of the store that is covered with juice from a rubbish bin.
That's not all. Michael was also alarmed by some food handling practices.
You'd find things like when chicken had finished cooking, it was left to hang over the fryers for a large amount of time. In a rush, when apple pies were pulled up and left to hang above the vats, they'd go cold after a period of time. Pies were refried for 30 seconds so they could be served after being left to hang for 15 minutes. That definitely shouldn't happen.
McDonald's didn't waste time to put a broom through the restaurant. They told us in a statement, staff are now required to check the cleanliness every 20 minutes, and they are working hard to ensure correct procedures are followed.
There's a heated landing zone before burgers are served to a customer. I've seen burgers spilled in that area and then reassembled by hand and reserved despite them having come in contact with a dirty surface.
Would you eat in that restaurant after working in there?
I'd be reluctant to eat at Hindley Street. I think that store has been left in a state where I would not want to eat at that store.
While we were there filming, they sent out a crew member to sweep the footpath, even though it was spotless. Pity they're not as vigilant at their Smithfield restaurant, where discarded rubbish constantly blows across the busy Main North Road, littering walkways, reserves, waterways and drains. It's
an ongoing problem which escalates every day. We can clean up and an hour later drive down, and it's an appalling condition again.
Peter De Jong is part of a group of community service volunteers called BRAG, the Blakeview Residents Action Group. They used to go out collecting rubbish in their neighbourhood once a month. Now it's every fortnight, thanks to the careless customers of this Maccas.
We have large sacks, they're 40-kilogram sacks, seed sacks, and we'll fill 5 of those on a Sunday morning just between 2 or 3 of us. Generally on our monthly get-togethers, we'll fill up to 13 to 15 sacks of rubbish. Oh, it's disgraceful. It's appalling.
Peter has written several times to McDonald's and the owner of this franchise about their litter bugs, but all they've done is erect a wire fence.
Here it's a situation, they clean inside their own boundary lines and that's where it stops. They ought to look past the boundaries and look at what's happening to the environment.
But Michael Purse says McDonald's does have a rock-solid policy about litter.
It's always been written into their operational manuals that the store and everywhere in a 2-block radius, the store was responsible for keeping clean.
Well, even out in the street?
Out in the streets, yep. They should be going out and picking up any rubbish with their name on it, even other people's rubbish, to make sure that their store has a good reputation.
And again, when they saw our cameras, they sent out the bin monitors. However, they stayed within their own boundary, as Peter de Jong was picking up their waste across the road.
All of this just blows directly across the road from them straight over here. And why can't they set up a maintenance program to actually do this?
We're treated like mushrooms because we're not allowed to know which eating establishments are offending by way of poor hygiene and sloppy standards.
MP Bob Such wants laws introduced where food outlets are regularly inspected and the results are posted for consumers to see. The so-called Scores on Doors program has been a huge success overseas.
After the premises are inspected, they get a rating which indicates how clean they are, what methods they're using that are appropriate, and they draw customers, and therefore it's a positive incentive for all eating establishments to do the right thing.
And it can't come any sooner for waste-weary Peter de Jong.
You sick of it? Doing it?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to go back to revegetating and mulching and watering our plants in the area, but I can solely concentrate just on picking up waste every fortnight.
Well, it doesn't seem fair at all, does it? Now, last night we brought you the story